Welcome, I'm Rose Oatley, and in today's episode, we'll be making shrimp fried rice. To start, you have to make white rice in advance. It should be cold and a day old. You can get away with making it maybe in the morning and let it sit in the refrigerator for at least 4 hours. If you don't do that, you're going to end up with mushy rice. For my rice, I typically like to use jasmine rice because it provides those nice fluffy grains. But I also want to show you how you can make it with this easy minute white rice. We want to start by adding 2 cups of water and let it come to a boil. Then I'm adding 2 cups of minute white rice. We want to give it a mix. Then cover with your tight fit lid. We're going to remove from heat and set our timer for 5 minutes. It's been 5 minutes. You want to take a fork and fluff it up. We want to make sure that all the water has been absorbed. And my rice looks pretty good here, although I have just a little tiny bit of water left. So to be safe, I'm just going to leave it for an additional 2 minutes. After 2 minutes, my rice is looking great. So I'm going to go ahead and put this in a bowl. We're going to let it cool off, then cover and refrigerate for at least 4 hours or until your rice is nice and cold. For my shrimp, I'm going to be using medium-sized uncooked shrimp, and the bag says there's about 50 to 60 shrimp in here. Your shrimp must be peeled and deveined. This bag came with a tail on, so I'm just going to run it through the water and pull it right off. They're very easy to remove. To start, I've got low sodium soy sauce. Make sure it's low sodium. And we are going to add almost 1/4 cup into our shrimp. Add 1 teaspoon of minced ginger. All right, so you want to give it a mix, making sure everything is nice and coated because we're going to be marinating it in this low sodium soy sauce. It's very important that you use low sodium. Otherwise, your shrimp will be extremely salty. Now, we will be using dark soy sauce later, but we'll talk about it then. While my shrimp marinates, in another bowl, I'm going to crack 3 eggs. With a fork, just whisk to scramble. Moving on to a pan, add 2 tablespoons of oil, then make sure it gets nice and hot. Once hot, you want to add your eggs, and when I'm cooking fried rice, I like to cook my eggs in sheet form. Let it sit for just a bit on that side, and then flip it, and then just start breaking it up into smaller pieces. Now we just want to transfer them to another plate temporarily. I like to take a paper towel and just quickly wipe my pan. Melt 3 tablespoons of unsalted butter. I'm going to carefully scoop out my shrimp and add it to my pan. I'm not going to add the rest of the soy sauce in there. Spread out your shrimp, making sure it's not overcrowded. And then we're going to add 2 teaspoons of minced garlic. Add 1 teaspoon of oyster sauce. Shrimp doesn't take long at all to cook. You want to cook for 2 minutes on each side. Just don't overcook it because then it will taste rubbery. If it's slightly undercooked, don't worry about it because we're going to continue cooking it with the rest of our ingredients later. Once done, you want to transfer it to another plate temporarily, and in this case, I'm using the same one as my eggs. My rice has sat in the fridge for at least 4 hours. It's nice and cold. I like to break it up with my hands. You should be able to break it up really easily. Again, it's preferred that you use rice from overnight, but if not, you can go get away with the 4 hours, but as long as your rice is cold, make sure it's not hot rice. All right, now's the time to get your wok out if you have one. If not, that's fine. We're going to add 3 tablespoons of unsalted butter. I'm also going to add about 1 tablespoon of vegetable oil. For my veggies, I'm going to be using a 16-ounce bag of frozen peas and carrots. If you prefer to use fresh, you can do that as well. I'm also going to be adding 1/4 teaspoon of sriracha sauce. Although it's not a lot, I like that little extra flavor that it gives it. Now we just want to stir fry our veggies until they're nice and warm. Once warm, I like to start adding my rice. Start stir frying our rice. You want to keep mixing and flipping it over. Your arm's probably going to get tired because you're going to keep mixing, but you'll be just fine. Whoops, don't try and be Iron Chef here. This pan is so heavy. You want to keep stir frying until your rice is nice and warm. Now this is when I like to add my dark soy sauce. I'm going to be using Tamari traditionally brewed soy sauce. Now this stuff goes a long way, so you don't need much. You can add anywhere between 2 tablespoons to 2.5 tablespoons. The more you mix, the more it'll spread to the rest of your rice. As you can see, the color is already starting to change. All right, so I've been stir frying for a few minutes. Everything is nice and warm. So now I'm going to add my shrimp and eggs, and we're going to combine everything together. We want to make sure all the different flavors marry. It's important that you use the dark soy sauce because that's really what makes the fried rice. I like to use the low sodium one just to marinate, but for this, you should be using the dark soy sauce. All right, so once everything was in there, I mixed for about 4 minutes, and this is looking really great. So let's get ready to plate. And here you have it, better than takeout, shrimp fried rice. Please be sure to give this a like and share with your friends. If you haven't already subscribed, please be sure to do so below or hit my little picture on the side. Also, don't forget to hit the little bell to get notified of all of my new videos. And please be sure to check out these links on the side. Share with your friends. Thanks for watching and your support.